The guitar pull is a Nashville tradition. Elvis Costello anchors Kris Kristofferson, Norah Jones, John Mellencamp, and Rosanne Cash on this edition of Spectacle.
How you doing? Tonight's spectacle is something a little different. We're going to have what they call down in Nashville a guitar pull. That's an evening when you gather together friends and colleagues and tell some stories and take turns in singing. Come to think of it, I think I should have some people come out here know a little bit more about these things than I do. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage Rosanne Cash and Kris Kristofferson. Rosanne, I understand that when you were a gal, your dad used to have his pals around, and when I say your dad, I mean Johnny Cash.
Oh my God, he had everybody at these guitar pulls. I think the form guitar pull originated in my dad's living room, that the tradition of passing the guitar around and each songwriter would try to best the one before him with a better song.
But what were the songs? Did you hear some songs?
I think that Joni Mitchell sang Both Sides Now for the first time in that living room. Kris Kristofferson sang Me and Bobby McGee for the first time. And didn't you? And that night, yes. Now, that's history.
So nobody was going to go after that one then?
Nobody
Bobby
went after
Dylan was there.
Yeah. What did he sing?
Mickey Newberry.
What?
I can't remember what Dylan said. I was so in awe. I was just standing there listening. I can't remember what he sang. But I can't remember what I had for breakfast. So.
Next to join the party is a man who's been whittling away what he doesn't need. First, he knocked out part of his stage name. Then he stripped down his sound to the taut essentials of both his rock and roll and acoustic ballad style. His latest record, Life, Death, Love, and Freedom, just about says it all. Abducted into the 2008 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, please welcome to the stage Mr. John Mellencamp.
Yeah.
Our next contestant is a young woman from Texas with an exquisite voice who came to New York with the idea of being a singer-songwriter and quickly sold more records than all of the rest of us put together. Please welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Norah Jones.
Whoa.
Well, what do you say we sing a Johnny Cash song to kick this show off?
I have to say, this is one of the greatest pieces of Southern poetry ever written.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, I told the weeping willow how to cry, and I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears I cried for that man gonna flood you, big river, and I'm gonna sit right here until I die.
Well, I met her accidentally in St. Paul, Minnesota, and that tore me up every time I heard her draw, southern draw. Then she heard my dreams back downstream, Covert and Davenport, and I followed her, I follow you, big river.
They took me to St. Louis later on down the river. Afraid I said she's been here, but she's gone, gone, gone. I found her trail in Memphis, but she just walked up the block. She raised a few eyebrows and then she went on down alone.
I want you batting on down to Baton Rouge, River Queen, rolling on.
take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Go on, I've had enough, done my blues down in the Gulf. She loves you, Big River, more than me.
Now I taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. And I showed the clouds how to cover up the clear blue sky. The tears I cry for that woman, they're gonna flood you, Big River. And I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Yeah, I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Yeah, I'm gonna sit right here till I die.
John, it falls to you. Hi, John. How are you doing?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I gotta remind John of something that apparently I said in an interview. You know what? That John Cougar Mellencamp, he doesn't want to go around with that stupid name. Or some words to that effect. Now, let me remind you of my stage name. Just think about it for a minute. It's what they say in England is brass neck, you know, the bald nerve.
Okay, so did you come up with that name yourself, or did somebody come up with it for you?
No, they just a man came down on a flaming pie and said it and gave it to me. It's like,
That same thing happened to me.
yeah, no. It keeps happens to everybody, I think, in show business. Yeah.
Well, I lived in London when you first started.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, he took that country by storm. I mean, that first record, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing it, without seeing it. And here's what I did. I went, this guy is such a great songwriter. I got a lot of work to do. That's what he said to me.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, but well, would you kick things off with a song?
Well, I was born in a small town and live in a small town. Probably die in a small town. Oh, the small communities. All my friends, this is a small town. My parents live in the same small town. My job is so small town. Provides a little opportunity. Educated in a small town. Taught to fear Jesus in a small town. Used to daydream in that small town. Another boring romantic, that's me. No, I cannot forget from where it is that I come from. Cannot forget the people who love me. I can be myself here in this small town. And people let me be just what I want to be. Got nothing against a big town. Man, I'm still hillbilly enough to say, look who's out there in the big town. But my bed's in a small town. Oh, and that's good enough for me. Well, I was born in a small town, and I could breathe in a small town. Probably die in a small town. Oh, that's probably where they bury me.
Norah, we've got this concept actually we're working on tonight. It's actually called The Highwayman, The Next Generation. And because obviously we've got a head start because we've got Rosanne representing the Cash family.
Okay.
And the role of Kris Kristofferson will be played by Kris Kristofferson. And your occasional group, the Little Willies, is named after Willie Nelson. Is that right?
It is.
So, and we've got. I tell you.
I'm glad we made you giggle. That's the best.
Well, I know the Little Willies is named after Willie Nelson, and we've got the pigtails and the weed backstage. So if you want to take that role, and Mellencamp and me will arm wrestle for the Waylon role, okay, after the show. Yeah. Well, tell us. I mean, you grew up in Texas, so people, heard your first records, and it took them a couple of records to realize the breadth of things that you're drawing from. They say jazz because you're behind a piano.
Well, it took me a couple of records to realize, too.
But you did the Little Willies record, and you let people in on some of the other music that you knew,
Yeah.
What music did you hear growing up,
I heard a lot of country music. I mean, my grandparents listened to Willie Nelson and Hank Williams and Johnny Cash and you. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I heard a lot of that music, and I did come to New York, and I started out singing jazz and wanting to be a jazz musician, but the country that I heard growing up, it was always there.
You brought along a song I know to this evening, which is it's got a pedigree that none of us can match really. You've got a pretty good co-writer on this next tune, and it's Hank Williams.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but
Well, how did it happen?
well, they're putting an album together of a bunch of unfinished songs. They found a lot of lyrics of his, and I was lucky enough to get sent a stack. The goal was to pick one and write some music and record it. So I went through them all, and this is the one that stuck.
Hank Williams has only ever put me in the mind of Shakespeare. It's that kind of purity and beauty, and
But Shakespeare couldn't yodel.
Well, he couldn't yodel. Yeah, and he looked lousy in a cowboy hat. But anyway, should we play the song?
Time after time, you've proven untrue, leaving me home to cry over you. Each time you come back and say I'm your sweetheart, but how many times, dear, have you broken my heart? Night after night, I've cried over you, hoping and praying someday you'd be true. You took my world and tore it apart. Oh, how many times have you broken my heart? You promised, darling, to be just mine, but now I know that was one of your lines. You've been untrue right from the start, but how many times have you broken my heart? Night after night, I cried over you, hoping and praying someday you'd be true. You took my world and tore it apart. Oh, how many times have you broken broken my heart.
So, Kris,
I got the perfect sequel for that.
that's what I was thinking.
Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that didn't hurt. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled through my closet for my clothes, found my cleanest dirty shirt, and I'm wearing it. And I washed my face and combed my hair and stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. I'd smoked my brain the night before on cigarettes and songs that I'd been picking. But I lit my first and watched a small kid cussing at a can that he was kicking. Then I crossed the empty street and caught the Sunday smell of someone frying chicken. And it took me back to something that I'd lost somehow, somewhere along the way. On the Sunday morning sidewalks, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday makes a body feel alone. And there ain't nothing short of dying half as lonesome as the sound the sleeping city sidewalks. Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl who he was swinging. And I stopped beside a Sunday school, listen to the song that they were singing. Then I headed back for home, and somewhere far away, a lonesome bell was ringing. And it echoed through the canyon like the disappearing dreams of yesterday. On the Sunday morning sidewalks, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday makes a body feel alone. There ain't nothing short of dying half as lonesome as the sound on the sleeping city sidewalks. Sunday morning coming down. Thank you.